Doris Day's 4 terrible marriages.
I've had a perfectly rotten life.
Doris Day once said she was at the top of her fame. Day had millions of fans and decades of chart success. She had appeared in movies alongside Sinatra and Jimmy Stewart. So what made Doris Day unhappy? It was her failed love life. Day was married 4 times, but her husbands were cheaters and swindlers. When Day died in 2019, she'd been single for 35 years. Here's what happened. Doris discovered her talent early on. In the 1930s, she formed a dance duo with Jerry Doherty. They performed in competitions throughout the U.S. Then a tragic car accident in 1937 shattered her right leg. Doris was only 15, but her dancing career was over. While recovering, she started to sing along with the radio. Singing became her new passion. Her mother hired a vocal coach. The coach was impressed. She gave Doris 3 lessons for the price of 1. In 1939, 17-year-old Doris became a band singer. 6 years later, she had her first hit, Sentimental Journey. By then, her first marriage was already over. Doris married trombonist Al Jordan in 1941. He began cheating on her almost immediately. Jordan was often violent. When Day became pregnant, he demanded an abortion. She refused, so Jordan beat her up. Jordan's attempt to force a miscarriage failed. Day gave birth to her only child, Terry, in 1942. Al Jordan divorced her a year later. He would kill himself in 1967. In 1946, Day married saxophonist George Weidler. Weidler was a chronic cheater. He abandoned Doris and little Terry after a couple of years. In 1951, she married film producer Marty Melcher. He seemed to respect her and support her career. However, he was violent toward Terry. Terry would bear his last name until his death. Marty Melcher died in 1968. Doris was dismayed to discover that she was in debt. Marty had lost $20 million of her earnings. He made some bad investments, leaving Day $500,000 in debt.
Just about the best thing Marty did for my mother was to die when he did.
Terry said. Day sued Marty Melcher's business partner for fraud. She was awarded almost $23 million in 1974, but she settled for $6 million to avoid the long appeals process. Doris swore off marriage after Marty's death, yet she married Barry Comden in 1976. He was the maitre d' at her favorite restaurant. They divorced 5 years later. Comden claimed Day preferred the company of dogs.
If it's true that men are such beasts, this must account for the fact that most women are animal lovers.
Doris Day. Terry Melcher died from melanoma in 2004, aged 62. Doris found solace in her many pets. She spent her late years in isolation. Doris Day died on May 13, 2019, aged 97. She had never liked the idea of death and burial. Day left her fortune to the Doris Day Animal Foundation. She requested that no funeral services be held. She was cremated, and her ashes were scattered.
The only ambition I ever had was not to be a dancer or Hollywood movie star, but to be a housewife in a good marriage.
Doris Day.